again, you little asshole? How do I turn this? There we go. So, I was messing around on Facebook today on my lunch break at work, and I found this picture of personality types sorted into Hogwarts houses. So I figured I would take a personality test today on stream. Especially because Wednesdays are our shorter streams. As you guys know, I talk to Mama. Okay, real quick pause. Wednesdays I do talk to my mom, so I try to be done with stream by 7 because that's when she usually calls. But side note, I appreciate you guys giving my mom the name Mama Knight. However, she has decided that she would like to be called Mama Star instead. I honestly personally think Mama Knight is better, but whatever. So if you see her in chat, Mama Star instead of Mama Knight, please. Or also in the Discord, because she pops in there very rarely. She's in my brother's Discord more than she's in mine. And my brother's Discord is just for family events and like gaming and stuff. So I figured it'd be cool to figure out which personality type I am and then compare it to my Hogwarts house on this screenshot, since my Pottermore has me as a Ravenclaw. My family and a lot of other online tests that aren't like Pottermore always sort me into Hufflepuff, which is weird because growing up, I have social anxiety. Still kind of do. And my boyfriend's a Hufflepuff. And I always want to be a Slytherin. Gryffindor never factors in there, but so I figured let's take this little 16 personality test and we'll figure out what personality I really am. So I'm going to explain each question as I answer them. And then we're going to review the personality type I am on this website, and then I'm going to compare it to the screenshot that I have here. So, the first question. You regularly make new friends. I'm going to not fully disagree. I'm just going to partially disagree, and here's why. I am a homebody. I don't leave the house unless I absolutely have to. Although I will say I've been trying to do my grocery shopping in person now that I live across the street from a grocery store. And my card actually works there because a lot of the grocery stores that were at my old place that I would go to, they had issue with Chase cards. So I'd sit there for 20 minutes swiping and doing it, and then we have to manually key in the card. It was a pain in the mess. So I used to order my groceries online, go pick it up, and go straight home. Now I can actually do in-store shopping at my local grocery store that's across the street from where I live now. It's actually super close. So I don't go out a lot, and I am still, I want to say I'm a lot more outgoing than I used to be growing up. So if someone comes up to me and they like lead the conversation, I'll participate and I'll make friends that way. But I'm not the one to make the move. Basically, hi, I'm taking a personality test. You have poop on your head. Where's that food? I don't know. I'm still mad at you. You pooped on my pillow, and my bed, and my floor. Okay, so I'm gonna go with a mostly disagree with that one. Hi, honey. You spend a lot of your free time exploring various random topics that pique your interest. Is it really random if they pique your interest? I don't know about this, because when I get introduced to a new thing, something I've learned, I have a very obsessive personality. So whenever I get introduced to something, that's all I want to do. Like, when I found out, hi, Seth! Everyone's just here tonight. When I found out about Star Trek Discovery, that's all I wanted. And I just binged the whole season in a day. And then I kept rewatching it. So, when I get introduced to new things, if I'm interested into them, I explore every aspect of them. Like, literally, my notebook that has my gaming stuff in there, since I've been playing Genshin Impact, is just a bunch of lore now on like 5 pages worth of stuff that I googled. So I'm gonna go ahead and say agreed with that one. Like a neutral agree. Seeing other people cry can easily make you feel like you want to cry too. No. For me, when I see other people cry, it makes me uncomfortable or makes me want to do something to fix the situation. It doesn't make me want to cry. Unless it's my mom. When I see my mom cry, I get teary-eyed. That's about it. Are you still having vertigo spells, honey? Have you talked to your doctor about that yet? You often make a backup plan for a backup plan. You are still in trouble. Go away. You stay. So in high school, my plans for when I graduated, I had a plan A, B, C, D, all the way to D. But now I don't really make plans. So I don't know. I used to be a very extensive planner. Now, not so much. I guess we'll throw the Christmas situation. I was supposed to go see my dad. I couldn't end up seeing him, but I didn't want to waste a ticket, so my backup plan was to see my mom, so we're going to do another neutral agree there. Yeah, well, I found this picture, and so I want to figure out how accurate it is. And it's the Hogwarts house is based off the personality types. Yeah, 16 personalities. So I'm going to compare the two, since we know I'm a Ravenclaw. Yeah, I'm going to an ENT this up-and-coming month. I don't know what an ENT is. Yeah, but you should get that looked at. I mean, vertigo can be caused by all kinds of stuff. For me, one of two things is usually when I get vertigo. I have an ear infection, or it's time to upgrade my glasses prescription. You usually stay calm even under a lot of pressure. Internally, I always freak out as soon as there's a little bit of pressure put on me. But as I get older, I've gotten better at handling pressure, so I'm going to do a mildly disagree. At social events... What social events? At social events, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to the ones you already know. 100% agree. I am absolutely the wallflower. Like, I never got invited to parties growing up. By the time I finally did, I was literally the girl at the party reading a book on the staircase. Even parties that were hosted for me, like, I remember my Sweet 16, I did intermingle with family and friends, but for the most part, I think I at the time I had a boyfriend. I hung out with him, and we just, like, isolated ourselves in a corner. Because I don't... I'm so bad at introducing... I got social anxiety. The test results are accurate, I can say that much. Well, I want to see how accurate they are to this picture with the Harry Potter houses. Ear, nose, and throat doctor. Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Hopefully they'll be able to tell you what it is. For me, it's usually an ear infection. You prefer to completely finish one project before starting another. High school me would say yes. Me, that's now in charge of a massive project at work, I'm gonna have to go... Well, I prefer to only do one project at a time, but I'm forced to do multiple... I'm just gonna go down the line here. Because at work, I can't just do one project. I have to do multiple projects at once, so I don't get that leeway. I don't think he knew you. He beat the shit out of me. He was the clumsiest person ever. That night at my Sweet 16, he knocked me unconscious accidentally with a bucket. He tripped me with a hose. He accidentally kicked and broke my big toenail. And I think he accidentally bruised my arm trying to save me when I was falling into the pool. He did. I met that wrong. Yeah, that's who I'm talking about. I know you met him there, but I didn't know if you'd met him previously. But look, I upgraded. Now Mr. Midnight is my boyfriend, and he's a very good boyfriend. You're very sentimental. About specific things I am. Like, whenever someone passes away that's close to me, I like to keep an article of their clothing. Because it maintains their smell. But... that's really it. I mean, I have my baby blanket. I'm trying to look around, like, is there anything I'm looking at in my apartment right now that I could not live without? Or I would fight tooth and nail to keep. And actually, you know what? There are some of my grandmother's things on here, so I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, I mildly agree. I did upgrade, 100%. You like to use organizing tools like schedules and lists. Okay, I used to use like a schedule or like a calendar. I'm so bad at doing the calendars now, but I do use lists a lot, especially at work. So I'm gonna do agree. Even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. 100% agree. Every time it's time for my review at work, I internally panic. Like this last one of the things my boss noted was like, you need to proofread your emails before you send them out. And that was like one of the only complaints she had. And I literally spent the next 2 hours on the verge of tears, like, I'm a massive fuck up. So the littlest things will make me feel super insecure about my abilities. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting? And no, absolutely not. If there's somebody I'm like, oh, I could be friends with that person, or I want to talk to them, I will 100% avoid eye contact, not talk to them at all. What I do, and it's so bad, you shouldn't do this, is I talk to my other, like, people that I already know, be like, hey, you should pull that person in and bring them into our friend group so I don't have to do it. I'm so bad about it. You are not too interested in discussing various interpretation and analyses of creative. Oh no, 100%. Disagree there. Literally, Persephone and Hades were here a couple weekends ago, and we were talking about this anime I used to watch when I was a kid. And I found some of my old fan fiction, or like, it wasn't even, not all of it was fan fiction that I wrote about it. I found a section, because we used to do it through Kick, me and 3 of my other friends from high school, and we did like a role play, like we existed in that universe. And I love sharing that with Evelyn, and then Evelyn shares her ideas with me, some of her writing, because she has books and stuff on Wattpad. And this is one of my favorite things to do, is to gush over something that I or somebody else made that I'm close with. I'm going to pet you, but you cannot come in my lap. You're more inclined to follow your head than your heart. Ooh, I'm going to have to say no on that one. And we'll just, example there. I moved to Texas because somebody told me I couldn't. And my stubborn ass was like, the fuck I can't. Ow, Teddy, that hurts. Magic fanfiction? I don't know a lot of magic lore. But I bet that's super interesting. I had D&D fanfiction at one point. That was great. You usually prefer just doing what you feel like at any given moment instead of planning a particular daily routine. I mean, I'm not spontaneous, so the things that I want to do tend to fall into a daily routine. Like, literally, I go to work, I come home, I get on my computer. I get up, I cook, I eat, I do dishes, I'm back on my computer. So, yes, I have been throwing in, like, but I've been getting better about, like, daily chores and stuff, too. Instead of cleaning, like, when it needs to be done, I've been doing cleaning every single night and day. It's just been driving me crazy, but nested, apparently. You rarely worry about whether you'll make a good impression on people you meet. No. I'm not a people pleaser. Because I am 100% okay with someone not liking me. But when I meet somebody for the first time, I always want to put my best foot forward, especially if I don't really know that person or how they are going to affect me in the future. Like, if my boss would just bring someone up to me, I'm like, I need to make a good impression because this could be my boss's boss. Or if I'm out at a grocery store and I see a woman struggling to get stuff and I want to, like, help her. I may never see this person again, but I also don't want to give a bad impression. D&D is kind of fun. Yeah, that's fair. I just smell like we'll see characters and stories just set in the... Sorry. Totally don't have fanfiction about the trickster. You 100% do. And I'm sure you probably have Ghostface fanfiction too. Knowing you. You enjoy participating in group activities. I'm gonna go with a slight... I'm gonna go with a mild degree because I'm gonna count video games as a group activity, and that's like the only group activity I like doing with other people. Although I like eating food with other people. Although it can be awkward, because like if you're chewing, you're like, I can't answer the question, or then you risk that talking with food in your mouth. Oh, we're just gonna stop there and go with mild degree. No! Okay, well, if you think you're going deaf in your left ear, you probably have an ear infection, because when you have an ear infection, you can't hear, and that could be causing your vertigo. You like books and movies that make you come up with your own interpretation of the ending. 100% agree. That's where a lot of my fanfiction history stems from. Your happiness comes from, and fun fact, when I was in high school, I founded a creative writing club, and the very first project I had us do was to rewrite the ending to one of your favorite books or shows or movies, and I rewrote the ending of Harry Potter where Severus Snape lives, is what I did. And the people that read mine, because we would just like change papers, we didn't read it out loud. The people that read mine, so the ending I foresaw instead, or like I wrote about instead, made them cry, and I was so happy. I like making people cry with my writing. Happy tears. Your happiness comes from helping others accomplish things, more from helping others accomplish than your own accomplishments. Ooh. I don't know about that one. Because I will say, I get truly happy when I accomplish my own goals, but today's an example. None of my coworkers watch my stream, so I can say this. One of my coworkers and I were both up for a promotion to team lead. My boss called me into her office today and told me that the other girl got it, and I was truly ecstatic for her. I was so happy and relieved that it wasn't me taking on this responsibility. So I don't know. Because I was truly happy for her, but I don't have opportunities to make neat accomplishments anymore in my life. I'm pretty at a stagnant place. I'm happy where I'm at. Of course, there's always room to grow, like, personality-wise, but when I do meet the accomplishments I set for myself, I am super happy. So I'm just gonna go down the middle there. Persephone is a masochist confirmed. 100%. We love you anyway, Persephone. You are interested in so many things that you find it difficult to choose what to try next. I don't really try new things. Not really. Although, I say that, I'm trying HelloFresh for the first time. I've been seeing so many people with offer codes, and so I'm basically getting it for like $40. So it's like, and the minimum you can do is 2 people. So you get 2 servings. So I did the 4 meal plan, so I'm like, that's going to be 8 meals in total for me. So I am trying that, but I don't really try new things normally. You're prone to worrying that things will take a tone for the worst. 100%. But in my defense, my mom raised me to think of the worst case scenario. So when something happens and it's not as bad as you anticipated, you're not upset. So she's like, hope for the best, anticipate the worst. That way, if it's like somewhere in the middle, you're good. No, but if HelloFresh wants to sponsor my stream, that'd be awesome. The sponsor, I did finally get someone wanting to sponsor my tiny little stream, and it was the weirdest thing. Like, when I was looking into it, I was like, I don't care if they're gonna pay me for this, I'm not gonna accept that sponsorship. It was super weird. So I declined the one and only sponsor request I've ever gotten. So you avoid leadership roles in group settings. Here's the weird thing with the leadership position for me. I have known since I was a freshman in high school that I don't like to be a leader, but I can be if no one else steps up. And the older I get, the more and more I find myself in those leadership roles, and I've developed a confidence in myself. I'm not as insecure anymore that I can lead. I just prefer to take orders instead of being the leader myself. But I'm also not the type of person that would follow a leader blindly. I don't know. We're gonna go down the middle again here. It's pretty good, honestly. You're definitely not an artistic type of person. I used to draw when I was a kid. I still do write. I haven't written poetry in years, but I'm gonna go slightly disagree, because I don't get the opportunity to write as much as I want to. And I haven't drawn since we did the Sigma drawing on stream. You think the world would be a better place if people relied more on rationality and less on their feelings? Disagree. I mean, you do need a sense of rationality, but feelings are what make us human. So if you just take that out, it's like that movie, I forget what it is, but basically they weren't allowed to have emotions, and if someone was caught having emotions, they were killed. And what's the point of living if you don't have feelings? Be rational, but don't hide your feelings. Hi, Belle! Yeah, so I 100% disagree with that one. You prefer to do chores before you allow? No. I'm so bad about doing my chores. I have been getting better. Like, literally before the stream, I made myself some dinner, I cleaned up all the shit all over the place, I mopped, and I did the dishes. I'm getting better about doing chores. But still, I am a weak woman when it comes to chores and relaxing. I 100%, almost, now I'm going to say 99.9% of the time, I choose to relax over doing chores. How is Belser this evening? You enjoy watching people argue. 100% disagree. I come from a broken family. I used to watch my parents fight all the time growing up. And so now, like, one of my emotional triggers is yelling. I can't stand to be yelled at. And I actually I was talking to Ricky about this the other day. Like, if someone yells at me, I shut down emotionally, and I can't. But I also participate in arguments as well, and I yell too. I'm human, I make mistakes, but watching people argue makes me extremely uncomfortable. You avoid drawing attention to yourself. Yes and no. It depends on the type of attention. And I always just tell my mom this. I like one person's attention. I am terrified of having a whole audience attention. Like, I would like when the teacher would praise me in school, but I'd hate when I'd have to get up on the stage in front of the entire school. So I'm gonna go with middle there. Dealing with feels of, I feel you, Belle. I may vanish in and out. It's storming here too, babe. But I have good internet, and I'm on the second floor, so that's why Teddy pooped on my bed today, is because it was storming, apparently. Your mood can change very quickly. If it's Shark Week, hell yeah. Other than that, no. I will say this week has been kind of rough for me. I've had depression since I was in 7th grade. And the older I've got, the easier it's been for me to deal with. But this week I've been having a depression episode. And I know how to not really fix it, but get over it a lot faster. So, but it's a whole process. When I realize I'm starting to get depressed, it takes me at least 4 hours before I can start weaning myself out of that. So my emotions, typically, if it's not Shark Week, do not change quickly. It takes effort and work. I have the only internet out here. That's true. But you're also on Ethernet, aren't you, honey? Because you're in the living room now? Being a feeder nerd, I feel like I'd still be used to it, but I don't know. I'm afraid to embarrass myself. Yeah, I feel that. You lose patience with people who are not as efficient as you. Okay, I had zero patience growing up. But over the last several years, since I moved to Texas, I've been working on being better with my patience. And there's been a visible change to it. I'm still not as good, but my boss did actually tell me today that she's noticed that I've been getting better with training people, and I'm being more patient with them. So I'm gonna say a slight disagree, because I'm getting better. Otherwise, if you asked me 2 months ago, it would have been probably here, right here. Okay. You often end up doing things at the last possible. Absolutely not. I'm the kind of person, like, if you're not there 20 minutes early, you're late. That's just how my mom raised me. She's like, it's always better to be early than late. You can wait in your car, read your book, chill on your phone, play games, whatever. But you can never make up the law for lost time. I'm a roller coaster with my emotions. Love being bipolar. Patience is definitely a virtue. I was theater adjacent, hung out with all of them, but actually not one. Same night. You have always been fascinated by the question of what, if anything, happens after death. No. Honestly, in 2010, I lost the most important person in existence to me, and it hurt a lot. And I'm gonna have a hard time sleeping tonight because I'm gonna talk about this. When that happened, in my head, little old 12-year-old me decided that after you die, it's like going and falling into a dreamless sleep, where it's just black nothingness. You're not sentient enough to know that you're trapped in this nothingness. You have none of your senses, so you don't know you're in it. But ever since then, that is one of my biggest fears, and every time I think about it, I get so freaking scared. Oh my god, I'm starting to cry just because I'm thinking about it now. We're just gonna say No, absolutely disagree and move on before I start crying and freaking out and having an anxiety attack because I can already feel it coming. Yeah. I'm sorry. This was supposed to be light, chill vibes, and I didn't realize how deep these questions were gonna get. You usually prefer to be around others than on your own. I'm gonna go with a mildly disagree, because typically I'd rather be alone, but there's some times when I'm like, I'm in a bad spot, I need this person with me, or I need to call this person. But most of the time, I'd rather be alone. I fix my problems better alone. I am getting better at this, and Ricky is being very patient with me. Oh, thanks, babe. Make my nightmare a reality. Thank you. Love you so much. You become bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly theoretical. No. That's when it gets more fun, because you can poke holes in it, and you can provide your own theories. You find it easy to empathize with a person whose experiences are different from yours. I do not find it easy to emphasize. I do try, though. So I'm going to go with a slight disagree. But in all reality, let's just back up. I've been through so much trauma, and I've talked about a lot of my trauma on the channel way back when. So there's not a lot of experiences people can have that I can't find some way to relate to some experiences that I've had. But when people are able to, I don't know what to do other than offer a comforting shoulder, and it makes me feel bad. Fudge that question. I believe heaven is a thing. I was raised outside of church, and then when I went to high school, that's when my mom found God. And so we were forced to go to church. And I, for a while there, I did believe, and I still do kind of believe. And I got baptized when I was a sophomore in high school. And I do believe that there's a higher power, but it's shitty to think of it this way, but because of how my mind works and how dedicated I was to science in high school, what I saw was a lot of Christians blaming all the good things on God and all the bad things on tough luck. And then when gay marriage got legalized in California, I saw all those Christian people that I loved and adored turn into monsters. I decided that any God that would approve of such heinous vocabulary towards people that were different than them was a God that I didn't want to be a part of, to worship anymore. And so I'm more atheist than anything, but I do believe in a higher power. Oh, that's such a sweet way of thinking of it, Persephone. And that's how it should be, Bill. Yeah, and other Christians I've met, 100%, they're okay with it. They actually do believe in the love thy neighbor. But the church I was at the time, the outrage and it broke my heart. Because some of my best friends were gay, and despite my dad, as a lot of you know, I tried for a long time to be gay, just despite my dad. And I did have my vicarious nature happen in 8th grade. So it broke my heart. You usually postpone finalizing decisions for as long as possible. Absolutely disagree. I want the decision made right. If there's something I want to talk about or I want done, I want it done right now. I don't want to wait. Back to the patience thing. I'm working on it, but it's still a process. You rarely second guess the choices you have made. All the time, especially with when I chose to move from California to Texas, not knowing anybody, not having a job, not having anything out here. I second guess that all the time, especially with this week, the way it's been. Part of the reason I've been depressed is because I've been missing my mom. My mom still lives in California with her boyfriend and my stepbrother, and all my aunts, and my uncles, and most of my cousins. And I still, even though I'm prospering here in Texas, I still sometimes think that I made the wrong decision to move to Texas out of California. Despite of how good it's been for my mental health, because ultimately the biggest part of the decision was I was so depressed and so insecure because of my status in California that I needed to move out of my mom's place. Stop it! And Texas cured that, basically. Greek religion, honestly. I don't know a lot about it. It sucks that people who claim to be Christian don't actually have the integrity to do it right. Exactly. No, it's not, babe. It's not weird at all. Yeah, Seth, you're gonna have to tell us about the Greek religion. After a long, exhausting week, a lively social event. No, absolutely not. After a long, exhausting week, I want to curl up on the couch and watch Ricky play Witcher. Or crawl up in my bed and read some novel or fan fiction. That's what I want when I'm exhausted. And that's actually, honestly, I had a really rough day today. Apart from the good news my boss gave me. I wanted to come home and just chill and play some video games. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I'm supposed to be talking to my my home office. I was supposed to call them, but I'm like, I don't want to talk to nobody. You enjoy going to art museums. I've never been to an art museum. I've been to like historical museums. And every museum that I've ever been to I've liked, so I'm gonna give it a mild degree because I typically like museums in general. Never specifically one for art I've been to though. It's what irritates me because my aunt is like that, but the way she acts. Exactly. You can't say that you're a Christian and hate against this type of people, but still say that you love thy neighbor. It's contradictory. It's self-righteous at that point, agreed. Man, I miss museums. Yeah. And Houston is so bad again. I think we're back in the red. Honestly, the main takeaway from the Pantheon is Zeus is a terrible dad and doesn't understand. No. 100%. It's very dangerous, honestly. I looked into it like 3 or 4 months ago, so I don't remember much. Teddy, stop. You're wanting attention, but you shit on my pillow, you shit on my bed. I don't have any sheets to replace it, so now I have to use my comforter and use a throw blanket tonight. You peed on my floor. And then you growled and barked at me until I fed you, knowing you had 10 minutes before your food. So no, you can fuck off. Go to your kennel. You often have a hard time understanding people's feelings. This is tough. In high school, I was the person that everyone came to solve their problems, and I was always the shoulder to cry on. But when I look back at it now, I was like, I was repeating the same thing over and over again for every single problem. And now as an adult, when I see the complexities of emotions and situations, it's harder for me to relate sometimes. But I usually am able to provide at least some sort of decent advice, I think. So I'm gonna say slightly disagree. It's too many kids, 100%. Then is my girl. A little Pantheon. Be like, you dad? No, be Zeus. She was born because Zeus had a splitting headache. Alright. Teddy poop where you're supposed to poop at. Yeah, he's... Him and I are not happy with each other. We're giving Teddy a treat when he's being bad, Belser? Are you serious? I don't remember this, Belser. I'm gonna redeem the worst rewards point you have on your channel next time you're streaming. Give me payback. Here's your fucking treat. Fuck off. Giving bad boys treats now. This is bullshit. Okay, you like to have a to-do list for each day. No. I don't. I only have a to-do list if there's stuff, like, I have to specifically get done right now. You rarely feel insecure. If you'd asked me 10 years ago, absolutely not. Now, I have my moments, but they're few and far between. And when the things that I get insecure about are so irrelevant, it's ridiculous. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna slightly agree with that one. He won't know why you gave it to him if he pooped a while ago. That's true. That is true. You avoid making phone calls. Before I moved to Texas, I was a texter. I did not like making phone calls. They gave me super anxiety. Now I'm like, I have too much to say, just call me. So I like doing phone calls over text messages, and like whenever I have to talk to Ricky, I'm like, I'm just gonna call him. Or if I'm on my computer, I'm like, it's easier to Discord me, but I prefer making phone calls now. You often spend a lot of time trying to understand the views that are very different from your own. Yes. I will say that. I had, at the other place, I had this neighbor, and he had 2 kids and a wife, and super kind and nice. And we and him would just get stuck in front of our apartments talking for hours about different perspectives of situations and world news and stuff. And it was one of the most fun things that happened. I feel irrelevant 99.9% of the time. No, Seth. Yeah, especially because, okay, back on the phone thing. Part of the reason why I also don't like texting now is when I was in high school, and I babysit my cousins over the summer. There was this one summer when my aunt and uncle were moving into a new house. So they asked me to clean the house. When I finished it, I texted them, the house is clean. Autocorrect changed it to your goose is clean, and my family has never let me live it down now. So autocorrect has ruined my perception for my family of me. So he just calls me every time he gets off work during the drive home just so he knows I'm making. Aw, that's true love, man. It's so sweet. In your social circle, you are often the one who contacts your friends and initiates activities. Ooh. So my social circle right now is me, Hades, Persephone, and Ricky. And it's either Persephone or me that does it. So I'm gonna go with mild agree, because Persephone also initiates. The boys are just like, I'm along for the ride. If your plans are interrupted, your top priority is to get back on track as soon as possible. If my plans are interrupted, I'm like, it's canceled. I get to go home and take a nap. So I'm gonna say disagree there. You're still bothered by mistakes that you made a long time ago. There's only one mistake I made a long time ago that still bothers me to this day. I think I was 5 or 6, and my grandmother threw this amazing party for me. It was the first time I got to have a birthday party alone, because in my family we have like 21 birthdays in July. And I was opening presents, and my mom says after I was done, I turned to my grandma and said, why didn't you get me anything? Even though my grandma hosted the party, bought all the decorations, all the food, everything. And my mom said that I did apologize later, but to this day, it breaks my heart that I didn't. But that's the only thing that still bothers me. So I'm gonna go with a slight disagree, because I do have that one nugget. Initiate contact with me. But aren't you super far, Belle? Maybe with my tax refund, we'll do a road trip out to come see you. I feel like Persephone, both you and I are dating insufferable assholes that love us, so it makes up for it. Yeah, whatever, 100% that's them. You vomited a rainbow, babe? Are you okay? No, I'm good. You rarely contemplate the reasons for human existence or the meaning of life. 100% agree. I'd rather not think about it, because when I think about it, then I think about the death situation. We already went over that. So. No! Belser just gave you a treat, and you're still gonna be an asshole? Get your toy off my bed! You pooped on this thing, I don't want it on my bed! Your emotions control you more than you control them. Not anymore. I mean, I do still occasionally get anxiety attacks, but I'll usually once I'm in the thick of it, to the point where I have to sit down because I'm getting lightheaded, I get things fixed. But I'm just gonna go disagree. Maybe mild disagree. Oh, cuteness joke. Gotcha. After Omicron goes down. That's true. Well, I think all of us are vaccinated, right? Yes, Belser, Seth, and Nightstar Girls Day. We'll go get our nails did. Get a massage. I can live with this mediocrity. Babe, you know it's 100% true. And my car is big enough, too. We could totally kidnap her, make a little bed in the back. You just take a nap, Belle. We're gonna go have fun. You take great care not to make people look bad, even when it's completely their fault. 100%. And that was one of the things, my first year living out here with the job I had, my boss had to pull me off. She's like, look, you're a great employee. You work hard. You do make mistakes. But the biggest mistake we want to talk about is the fact that you keep taking credit for other people's mistakes. Stop apologizing for something someone else did just so they won't get in trouble. And I still kind of do. But I'm getting better about that, too. A lot of self-growth going on since I moved to Texas. Oh, what kind of pupper? Yeah! Persephone. I'm still waiting on my Persephone cookies for Christmas. She's a 6-week-old blue healer and she's precious. What's her name? Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than organized and consistent efforts. I'm gonna kind of agree. Because they'll get these random moments at work where I'm super hyper and I bust out a bunch of work. But then, like, days like today, I can't focus, I'm struggling, and not a lot gets done. When someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long it'll take them to feel disappointed in you. We're not going to talk about that one. No, we can't. this is gonna get really sad and really deep, and I just want to say, for the most part, I had a happy upbringing. Now that it's been said, in my life, I've only ever been told three times now, that somebody is proud of me. So, and the amount of times that someone has been told me that they're disappointed in me is 14 times in my lifetime. So, I'm always waiting for that moment. The very first time someone told me they were proud of me was my grandmother when she saw my band recital for the short time I was in band when I was in 5th grade. The second time was my mom when I moved to Texas by myself, and she saw I was thriving. The third time was a couple months ago when my boyfriend's mom told me she's proud of me for moving to Texas all by myself. So, yeah. These could have been a bro day and not deal. That's true. Cutie pie. Yo, she's mischievous little bee but can't stay angry. We'll see. Persephone has a rare disease called ADC. What? Persephone? No. You would love a job that requires you to work alone most of the time. 100% agree. I was the kid in school, like, we got a group project, and I took all the work and told them, like, I will do all the work, you do the presentation. I will give you side cards, but let me do it so you don't fuck up my grade. It was the kind of person I was. You believe that pondering abstract philosophical questions is a waste of time. No, it's fun. I'm gonna go with disagree. Because if I don't have time, let's not talk about this now. But if it's free time or just shooting the shit, yeah, hell, it's fun. Especially seeing other people's... You have brand new... I have, potatoes. I literally do not have hardly any food in my fridge right now. I have made spaghetti on Sunday, and that's what I've been living off of. And I had toast for breakfast and lunch today because I fucked up with my grocery shopping. I've been starving. And so I'm like, just get to midnight and get to midnight. When you wake up at midnight, if you're hungry, you can go and drive because you get paid. So... You guys are talking about food. It's making me hungry. Gotta stop. You feel more drawn to places with busy, bustling atmospheres. Absolutely not. My favorite thing to do are, like, if I had to go out of the house, I prefer to go when no one is at Starbucks and I chill in the corner and just drinking my coffee and chilling on my laptop. You know at first glance how someone is feeling. Yes and no. If it's somebody that I know well, I know exactly how they're feeling. If it's someone I don't, no. Absolutely not. But, like, my boss, my boyfriend, Persephone, I can always tell what mood they're in. So I'm going to go with a slight agree. Because that's a small percentage of people. It's cheap, easy, and it lasts for, like, I don't know how to make a spaghetti for one person, so I just make a full box of pasta. So it lasts me for a while. Alright, next question. We're at 90% done. Woot-woot. This test is actually longer than I thought it was going to be. So, that makes me feel good. You often feel overwhelmed. At work, it's been more consistent because of how it's going on, but normally, not really. So I'm going to go with a slight... Do I go with slight agree or slight disagree? I was overwhelmed with the move recently, so I'm just going to go slight agree. And I have to file taxes, so that does kind of overwhelm me a little bit because I file my taxes myself. Okay, you complete things methodically without skipping over any steps. No. Anytime I can wiggle out a way or find a loophole so I don't have to do something and make it fit faster and streamline it, I do. You are very integrated by... integrated? Fuck, I can read, I swear. You're very intrigued by things labeled as controversial. I don't know about that. I don't typically look specifically for things that are controversial, and when I have an opinion, I'm willing to hear people out, but I don't know at what point that becomes controversial or not. You should do it, Belle. And then break my heart and show me pictures. You would pass along a good opportunity if you thought someone else needed it more. Yeah, today's a good example. The coworker that got the team lead position, she works 2 jobs, and so she's often tired. And this position came with a raise. So hopefully with this raise, she won't have to work 2 jobs and she won't be as tired as all the time. Excuse me while I toss him on the bed. Get this fucking dinosaur off my bed. So yeah, I would 100% do it. If I wasn't struggling myself or anything like that. 100% would. You struggle with deadlines. Disagree. I stress and panic whenever, but very rarely do I miss deadlines. I am very time oriented. Like, if something has to be done by a certain time, I try and get it done a day prior. Sub. What? Nightbot, you're broken. Oh, honey. It's February. Right, I wish, man. You feel confident that things will work out for you. This kind of makes it feel like things working out is all based off luck. And when I feel, for me, I feel like it's based off of hard work. So I'm going to go neutral with this. I feel like you have to work to get things to work out. So I'm going to go with the neutral. Alright, female. Let's see the results. Mediator. Huh? INFP. So the INFP would put me on this Hogwarts thing. INFP would make me a Gryffindor. I've never been sorted into Gryffindor. Okay, it says under the Gryffindor one, poetic, kind, and altruistic people, always eager to help a good cause. I guess that's accurate for me. We all know I'm a Ravenclaw, but this is bullshit. 100%. Yeah, babe, that's what I'm saying. So that picture's gotta be wrong. I feel that one person. Okay, so let's look this. I am 69. Nice. 69% introverted. Best part of this whole goddamn quiz. Energy. This trait shows where we direct our mental energy. To intuitive instead of observant. Yeah, I could see that. Literally, I can be looking for my phone and not see it. And it's right in front of my face. Alright, nature. This trait determines how we make decisions and cope with emotions. 70% is feeling and 30% thinking. Babe, I need input. I'm not sure how I feel about that one. You would know better. You have to deal with my nonsense. Oh, this is pretty split down the center here. Tactics. This trait reflects our approach to work, planning, and decision making. 46% judging and 54% prospecting. Yeah. Identity. This trait underpins all others, showing how confident we are in our abilities and decisions. 36% assertive and 64% turbulent. So that means I'm not confident in my abilities, what it's trying to say. I need your opinion on the nature. When I make decisions, do you feel like I do it more with feeling or thinking? Alright, let's read my profile. Oh, sure. We're gonna use my stream email. Not my personal email. Okay, start reading. The mediator personality type. Introduction. Although they may seem quiet or unassuming, mediators have vibrant, passionate inner lives. Good news for you. Thinking? It said 70% feeling and 30% thinking. Creative and imaginative. They happily lose themselves in daydreams. Okay, that's accurate for me. I usually daydream to go to sleep. Inventing all sorts of stories and conversations in their mind. Literally, whenever I have to talk to somebody about something, I imagine the conversation in my head before I have it. Usually days in advance, because then when I'm actually in there in front of them, I don't think before I speak. These personalities are known for their sensitivity. Alright, fuck you. Oh, now my computer's going off with the email for this. Mediators can have profound emotional responses to music, art, nature, and the people around them. Yeah, you know what? That's kind of true. And especially the older I get, the more susceptible I am to the emotions that it's trying to, like, music and art is trying to convey. Idealistic and empathetic, mediators long for deep, soulful relationships, and they feel called to help others. But because this personality type makes up such a small portion of the population, mediators may sometimes feel lonely or invisible, adrift in a world that doesn't seem to appreciate the traits that make them unique. Hello, daydream. More like night dream. I love you, Belser. All that is good gold does not glitter. Not all those who wander are lost. The old that is strong does not wither. Deep roots are not reached by the frost. J.R.R. Tolkien. look at cute little animation. Is that a dragon? We all know I love dragons. Oh, insight of the day. Mediators are the most likely personality type to find it easier to forgive others than themselves. Oh, yeah, 100%. I'm the type of person that I will forgive you for almost anything. You'll always be forgiven with me. And then when you finally don't get my forgiveness, you'll never get it back. It's ridiculous. You'll either always have it, or the one time you fuck up too much, you'll never be forgiven. The gift of empathy. Mediators share a sincere curiosity about the depths of human nature. Introspective to the core, they're exquisitely attuned to their own thoughts and feelings, but they yearn to understand the people around them as well. So maybe just in the recent years I've become a mediator because I didn't used to be as attuned to my thoughts and feelings, and the older I get, the better I get at it because I've done a lot of self-growth since I moved to Texas, and I've worked to improve myself. Still a long way to go, but I've been, like, the whole purpose for me to move to Texas was to improve upon myself and become more self-aware. Yay, Val, we're the same! Mediators are compassionate and non-judgmental, always willing to hear another person's story. It's true for me. I always say there's two sides to every story. When someone opens up to them or turns to them for comfort, they feel honored to listen and to be of help. I feel like this is accurate, especially like with Evelyn. I hate my introspect, though. It's stupid. Yeah. For mediators, an ideal relationship of any kind is one in which both people feel comfortable sharing not just their wildest hopes and dreams, but also their secret fears and vulnerabilities. And I think that's part of why our relationship works so good, is because Ricky has known me for so long that he can tell this shit about me without me even having to say it. And it's very hard for me to talk about my weaknesses or like fears and doubts and stuff, but it's easy because Ricky was there when all of this stuff developed, like when he watched the fear develop or my vulnerability manifest. Empathy is among the personality type's greatest gifts, but at times it can be a liability. The troubles of the world weigh heavily on mediators' shoulders, and these personalities can be vulnerable to internalizing other people's negative moods or mindsets. Yeah, I agree with that. Unless they learn to set boundaries, mediators can feel overwhelmed by just how many wrongs there are that need to be set right. Okay, that is a trait. Even in high school I had. If one of my friends was wronged by somebody, I felt compelled to talk to the person that did the wrongdoing on their behalf to try and make things right and take care of them. Speaking their truth. Few things make mediators more uneasy than pretending to be someone they aren't. With their sensitivity and their commitment to authenticity, people with this personality type tend to crave opportunities for creative self-expression. It comes as no surprise then that many famous mediators are poets, writers, actors, and artists. They can't help but muse about the meaning and purpose of life. No. We talked about this. This just scares me. But this part, dreaming up sorts of stories and ideas and possibilities along the way. Yeah, that's accurate. Mediators have a talent for self-expression. They may reveal their innermost thoughts and secrets through metaphors and fictional characters. Through these imaginative landscapes, mediators can explore their own inner nature as well as their place in the world. While this is a beautiful trait, these personalities sometimes show a tendency to daydream and fantasize rather than take action. That's me. That's so me. To avoid feeling frustrated, unfulfilled, or incapable, mediators need to make sure they take steps to turn their dreams and ideas into reality. I don't want to. In search of a calling, people with this personality type tend to feel directionless or stuck until they connect with the sense of purpose for their lives. Example, Ark. You guys saw me playing it the other day. I need purpose. I told Zach literally, you need to give me an objective. Otherwise, I'm not going to have fun and I'm not going to play this stupid game anymore. For many mediators, this purpose has something to do with uplifting others and their ability to feel other people's suffering as if it were their own. While mediators want to help everyone, they need to focus their energy and efforts. Otherwise, they can end up exhausted. I felt this in high school, which is why it made getting over my depression so much harder, because I was trying to fix everybody else's issue, and the way I described it to my mom back then, because I was so overdramatic, is I was giving my spirit to other people to help get them out of their depression, that at the end of the day, I had none left for myself, and all I was left was the darkness and all the negativity, because I was an angsty teen. Like, aren't all teens angsty? Fortunately, like flowers in the spring, mediators' creativity and idealism can bloom even after the darkest of seasons. Although they know the world will never be perfect, mediators still care about making it better however they can. This quiet belief in doing the right thing may explain why these personalities so often inspire compassion, kindness, and beauty wherever they go. That's an interesting point. I think some of the best poetry I ever wrote growing up, because I still have all my poetry books, came after I had a very spiraling depression episode. Some of my favorite poems have come out of that stuff, so quite true. Mediators you may know. J.R.R. Tolkien. Why does it say why? Okay, go back. William Shakespeare. Bork, I don't know who this. Alicia Keys. Tom Hiddleston. Julia Roberts. William Wordsworth. Johnny Depp. Frodo Baggins. Amelia Polan. I don't know who that is. Arwen. Fox Mulder. I don't know who that is. Anne. I don't know who that is. Sybil Branson. Don't know who that is. Lance Sweets. Don't know who that. I don't know who any of these last people are. Okay, cool. Strengths and weaknesses. Okay, these are the strengths. Empathetic. Mediators don't just care about other people in an abstract sense. These personalities can actually feel another person's emotions, from joy to elation to sorrow and regret. Because of the sensitivity, mediators tend to be thoughtful and kind-hearted, and they hate the idea of hurting anyone, even unintentionally. That is my biggest fear, especially like with relationships and stuff. And I've been trying to be more communicative with Ricky. Is like my biggest fear is that I'm gonna unintentionally hurt him. And I've even talked to Persephone about this sometimes too. Mulder is from X-Files. I knew who Shakespeare was, and a couple other people. Julia Roberts, Johnny Depp, Tom Hiddleston. Yeah. Okay. Next strength is generous. Mediators rarely enjoy succeeding at other people's expense. Yeah, that would just make me feel guilty. They feel called to share the good things in their lives, give credit where it's due, and uplift the people around them. These personalities want to contribute to a world where every voice is heard and no one's needs go unmet. Open-minded. I've always believed that one of my biggest strengths in life is that I'm a very open-minded person. I'm willing to hear out someone else's perspective, especially if I've already had my mind made up. I'm willing to listen and have you change my mind. So, tolerant and accepting, mediators try not to judge anyone else's beliefs, lifestyles, or decisions. This is a personality type that prefers compassion to fault-finding, and many mediators feel empathy even for those who have done wrong. Because they're so accepting, mediators often become confidants for their friends and loved ones, and occasionally for total strangers. Yeah, I feel that one. What time is it? Okay, I still got 30 minutes before mom calls. This stream is ending up going longer than I anticipated, and I totally don't mind now. I'm having fun. Creative. Mediators love to see things from unconventional perspectives. Few things give them more pleasure than allowing their minds to wander through all sorts of ideas and personalities and daydreams. It's no wonder, then, that many mediators are drawn to creative pursuits, or that this personality type is well represented among writers and artists. Passionate. When an idea or movement captures their imagination, mediators want to give their whole heart to it. People with this personality type may not always be outspoken, but that doesn't diminish their strong feelings for a cause that speaks to their beliefs and convictions. Mediators, idealistic. I just walked right past that one. Mediators strive to follow their conscience, even when doing the right thing isn't easy or convenient. They rarely lose sight of their desire to live a meaningful, purpose-filled life, one that helps others and leaves the world a better place. Alright, the weaknesses. Unrealistic. Nothing in this world is perfect, and that can be a difficult truth for mediators to accept. People with this personality type can be hopeless romantics, which I've been told I am, with rose-colored visions of what their life should be. This can set mediators up for disappointment when reality inevitably falls short of their dreams. I feel attacked right now because that's so fucking true. Self-isolating. Alright, fuck you. I was just talking about how I'd rather curl up in the bed than go out. Mediators long to connect with others, but they don't always know how. Okay, no, that's true. Especially in new environments, mediators may be reluctant to put themselves out there in ways that would help them make new friends or become involved in a new community. As a result, people with this personality type may sometimes feel lonely or isolated. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Unfocused. Bitch, you calling out my work ethic today? Right, Belle? Me and Belle over here getting the lashing of a lifetime. Mediators' imaginative, introspective nature doesn't always lend itself to productivity. Shit, don't tell my boss. Many mediators get frustrated by how difficult they find it to buckle down and get things done. The problem isn't that they are incapable, rather, it's that they run into problems when they become so caught up in different ideas and ideals that they fail to commit to a course of action. Emotionally vulnerable. The emotional attunement of these personalities is among their greatest strengths, but unless mediators establish boundaries, they can be at risk of absorbing other people's negative moods or attitudes. Desperate to please. I am not a fucking people pleaser. Fuck you. Conflict tends to be okay, I do avoid conflict. I do that. Conflict tends to be stressful for mediators who yearn for harmony and acceptance. When someone dislikes or disapproves of them, these personalities may become fixated on trying to clear the air and change that person's mind. Unfortunately, mediators' desire to please others can drain their energy, eclipsing their inner wisdom and their awareness of their own needs. Fuck. I didn't know I was a fucking people pleaser, but when you put it that way, oh my god, I'm a fucking people pleaser. Literally, there was somebody that did not like me at work, but I tried everything in my power to make our working environment pleasant, even though she didn't like me and I didn't know why. Oh my god, I'm a fucking people pleaser! I didn't even know it, man. Self-critical. Mediators believe in their unique potential and they desperately want to live up to it, but this can cause them to have unrealistic expectations for themselves. When mediators fail to live up to these visions, they may accuse themselves of being useless or selfish or woefully inadequate. Taken too far, this self-criticism can discourage mediators, leading them to give up their own, to even give up on their dearest dreams. Feeling self-critical right now? Before going to the next section, scroll up to reread your strengths and let them serve as a reminder of how much you, dear mediator, can bring them. This bitch knew I was gonna be upset, and like, here, go back up to your strengths, we'll make you feel better. Oh my god. Oh, romantic relationships, babe, are you here? Mediators are dreamers and idealists, especially when it comes to romance. People with this personality type believe in power and beauty of true love, and they sincerely hope never to settle for anything less. Am I a fucking Disney princess now? What the fuck? It's fair to say, then, that mediators approach the world of romance with high expectations. They may have spent years daydreaming about the perfect relationship, imagining how it would feel to share their innermost selves with another person, but the reality of dating can come as something of a shock to mediators, forcing them to grapple with the challenging questions. If they want to be in a relationship, will they have to compromise their ideal? That is so fucking accurate, and something that Ricky and I are working through. I've been such an asshole lately, and he's been super patient with me because of this exact thing here. Literally, when I was moving, one of our friends made the comment like, oh, why don't you and Ricky just get a place together? And I'm like, no, because I don't want to change things right now. I don't want to compromise. Hopeless romantics. Mediators don't just want to find a partner. They want to connect with a soulmate. I don't like the word soulmate. Thoughtful and open-minded, these personalities are generally willing to consider going out with all sorts of people. Absolutely the fuck not. I have very high standards. Mediators pride themselves on their ability to look past a potential partner's superficial traits, such as appearance, social status, or possession. Hey, my boyfriend's attractive. Why you gotta say superficial? Look past his appearance. What the fuck? And focus on deeper, more meaningful signals of compatibility. Babe, you're attractive, I promise. Ignore this test. Mediators share a belief that two people can come together in a relationship and make each other better and happier than they were before. I believe that. But it would be a mistake to think that mediators don't have preconceived standards for a significant other. I definitely do. With their active minds and imaginations, people with this personality type tend to develop and carry with them a vision of their ideal partner. A vision that may be based on favorite fictional characters, fuck you, a person they once knew, or simply the stories they've told themselves about how love No, it's 100% the first one. I'm sorry. Um, when they meet someone new, most mediators can't help but compare that person with the ideal soulmate they've envisioned. I don't know, when I'm in a relationship, I don't really compare people to the person I'm in a relationship with. This wasn't to booster your ego, I'm just stating a fact, okay? You already have a massive ego, you do not need a bigger one, babe. Unsurprisingly, such comparisons tend to weed out more than a few potential partners. No. It can be difficult, if not impossible, for a real flesh and blood person to live up to a mediator's cherished dreams. I will say, I have very high standards, but when I was in high school, I was 100% willing to drop all of those standards. I've reinforced them standards since I graduated from high school. Making an effort. With time, many mediators come to learn that true love doesn't just magically happen. It takes compromise, understanding, and work. Ricky and I have this understanding and work down. I'm struggling, me personally, not Ricky, with the compromise part. After all, no partner is perfect, and even the most beautiful relationships have their challenges. Fortunately, people with this personality type can find a great deal of joy in the effort it takes to strengthen a relationship. When they fall in love, mediators reveal just how much passion thrums, where are we going with this, beneath their quiet exteriors. Okay. Devoted and loyal, they nevertheless respect their partner's independence, aiming to accept their partner as they are. That said, these personalities also want to help their partners learn, grow, and pursue their goals. Mediators are always dreaming up ways to improve themselves and the world around them, and the last thing they want is for their partner to feel unhappy or stuck. I agree with that. Yeah, I'll reach out to Shim. She can make you an email, babe. Asshole. Mediator personalities use their compassion and insight to understand the people they care about, and they draw on their creativity to make their partner feel special. Many people with this personality type dedicate themselves to helping their partners improve their lives. While this is a noble goal, mediators must be sure to keep track of their own needs and make sure that their partners are really ready to change. Provided they do so, mediators' support and devotion can make all the difference in their partners' lives. The support thing, I'm learning to do better. Literally, Ricky and I had a conversation recently about something that was bothering me, and I felt so bad about it. And he's like, no, just get on my ass about it, and everything will be fine. I was like, you take this so much better than I thought you would, because I was so worried I'd upset him. Finding what's real. Mediators tend to promote harmony over disagreement. Although this lends stability to their relationships, it can also lead to problems. To avoid triggering a conflict, mediators may avoid talking openly about things that are bothering them. Just said that. Instead, they might mentally fixate on problems to try and solve it on their own. Yeah. They may also focus on making their partner happy to the detriment of their own priorities and sense of self. People with this personality type may need to remind themselves that open, honest communication is necessary in a relationship, even if it isn't always easy. Yeah. In fact, such moments of candor can transform the relationship for the better. As long as they communicate openly, mediators are more often capable of staying true to themselves in a relationship and encouraging the person they care about to do the same, bringing their whole hearts and minds to their relationship. Mediators can find out what it truly means to be loved and to be loved. Friendships. What time is it? We're running out of time. How long is this section? This one's a little long. I'm actually gonna skip over friendships and parenthood to go to like career paths and workplace habits because I only got like 10-ish minutes, maybe 15 before my mom calls. So we're gonna go down to the career paths because I feel like relationships and parenthoods are gonna kind of be like, or friendships and parenthoods are gonna kind of be like the relationships. You should still have the same mentality, just one's deeper. So Many mediators long for a career that doesn't just take care of the bills, but also feels fulfilling. They want to spend their days doing something they genuinely love, preferably without too much stress or drama. I wish. For mediators, an ideal career path should feel like a calling, not just a job. And if it doesn't involve too many draining social interactions or phone calls, so much the better. Even the idealist, mediators might struggle to find a profession that meets their practical needs and fulfills their dreams. Yeah, I would say as much as I love my job now, it's not what I want to do for the rest of my life. These personalities may drift in frustration, waiting for the perfect job to present itself and eventually feeling stuck or worried that they're not living up to their potential. Alas, there's no such thing as a perfect job, and the question of whether to settle for a less than ideal position can weigh heavily on the person. No, 100% no. I'm going to say no. A job never weighs heavily on me because, in my head, as long as I'm paying the bills, I'm staying at this job. If I get a better offer, I will move to that job so I can pay the bills. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. I'm not going to quit because I can't pay the bills. I'd rather be unhappy and pay my bills than be happy and not pay my bills. Which is how I am. Alas, okay, I already read that. Mediators' creativity, independence, and sincere desire to connect with and help others can help them shine and find fulfillment in nearly any line of work. Place for everyone. Certain careers and vocations seem to hold a special allure for these personalities. With their curiosity and their love of self-expression, many mediators dream of becoming writers. I did at one point. They may write novels, seek out interesting freelance niches, or even find themselves doing communications in a corporate field or for a non-profit organization. Richly imaginative mediators can infuse even their direst of fundraising or marketing materials with new life. My throat's starting to hurt. Sensitive to artistic beauty, some mediators simply come to life in the worlds of writing, music, drama, or dance. Although this personality type isn't known for seeking the spotlight, I did talk about that earlier. Like, I like to have, like, a couple people's attention. I don't like a whole auditorium's attention. It makes me uncomfortable and brings out the shyness in me. Although this personality type isn't known for seeking the spotlight, other mediators find their life purpose in the performing arts. These mediators can draw from their inner depths to pull out exquisite interpretations of a creator's work. They may also create their own works as playwrights, composers, or choreographers. Whether they do, mediators want to feel their work is helping others. It is not surprising, then, that many people with this personality type choose careers that are focused on service, such as counseling, psychology, teaching, healthcare, social work, massage therapy, or physical rehabilitation. I have always wanted to be a teacher, and then I was tutoring a coworker's kid when I was in high school, or when I graduated high school, and I realized that as much as I want to be a teacher, I would be a terrible teacher, and it was better for the youth if I was not one, and now I'm technically in healthcare. For these caring, supportive personalities, few things are more meaningful than seeing their work help change someone's life for the better. Finding their way. Mediators are adaptable, but they may find it demotivating to work in high-stress, bureaucratic, or hectic environments. They can also become frustrated by workplaces that are highly critical or competitive. Workplaces that reward independence tend to be a good fit for mediators, although they may appreciate some structure and oversight to help them avoid procrastinating and getting lost in thought. I don't procrastinate. I do get lost in thought. That said, mediators don't need ideal conditions to thrive professionally. These personalities want to live in tune with their values in their careers as much as any other aspect of their lives. They can put up with and overcome any number of challenges as they pursue a sense of mission in their work. Belle's on board now. Workplace habits. I'm hoping we can get to the conclusion before I gotta end stream. Mediators want to feel a sense of purpose in their work. Whenever they find themselves on the job ladder, they try to cultivate an emotional and moral connection to what they do, looking for reassurance that their day-to-day efforts are helping other people in some shape or form. This desire to be of service colors how mediators' personalities respond to authority in the workplace, as well as how they express it. Oh, yeah, look at the boss watering the plant. It's like watering you to make you the best you can be. Mediator subordinates. As employees, mediators tend to be loyal, upbeat, and considerate. They take pride in being honest and doing the right thing in all circumstances. People with this personality type also feel gratified by pleasing others, from their bosses to their customers. Mediators feel most motivated when they're thinking up ways to help others, not worrying about checklists or bottom lines. This explains why praise and positive feedback can make them light up. 100%. That is me. On the flip side, criticism can lead these personalities to shut down. Yeah, kinda. When faced with punishing expectations or highly negative boss, not pointing fingers, especially because one of my bosses in my lifetime was related to me. They may find it hard to get things done. Add the distraction of a constantly ringing phone or an overflowing inbox. You have a recipe for a seriously stressed out mediator. Mediator employees enjoy having freedom and latitude. Their creativity and insight enable them to shake up old, ineffective ways of doing things. Yeah, 100%, as long as they're given the chance to speak up and make changes. That said, they tend to benefit from deadlines and clear expectations to keep them on track. Otherwise, people with this personality type might get caught up in procrastination, bouncing from one idea to another rather than settling down and crossing tasks off their to-do list. Colleagues. Mediators value equality and fairness, so it's no surprise that they can feel stifled by workplace hierarchies. They prefer professional environments where everyone feels valued and is encouraged to share their ideas. 100%. Totally me. No matter their job title, as colleagues, mediators do what they can to make this ideal a reality. In their quiet way, mediators can become the glue that holds the workplace together. Although their voice might not be the loudest, they are often admired for their insight, with coworkers routinely coming to them for advice. Pleasant and kind-hearted, mediators don't like conflict, drama, or workplace politics. Instead, they try to act in ways that foster harmony and cooperation. When someone needs help, mediators tend to pitch in without expectation or praise or recognition. One of mediators' greatest contributions as a colleague is their empathetic communication style. These personalities seek a way that's honest but kind, which can set a positive tune for the entire workplace. As managers, mediators are among the personality type least likely to act as if they're in charge. They respect their employees as full-fledged human beings, not just as workers. Rather than make up all decisions themselves, mediators often ask to hear their employees' thoughts and opinions. In general, people with this personality type don't micromanage. Instead, they keep their eyes on the big picture. They see it as their responsibility to support their employees, not to tell them exactly what to do and how to do it. Whenever possible, they encourage, I feel like when I've been training, I've been telling people exactly what to do and how to do it. I do always say, you can do it your own way, but I really want them to do it how I want it to do. Yeah. Whenever possible, they encourage the people who work for them to develop their own ideas and use their own best judgment. There is a downside to this management style. Sometimes mediators may struggle to set boundaries, drill down on inefficiencies or other criticisms, even when it's necessary. This can slow down their team and create needless stress, both for mediators and for their employees. At times, managers with the personality type may need to be strict for the good of the team. Oh, I don't like that. Alright, conclusion. We can do a conclusion in 5 minutes, right? Few personality types are as poetic and kind-hearted as mediators. With their unique gifts, mediators can overcome all sorts of challenges and obstacles, and brighten the lives of those around them in the process. Mediators' creativity, imagination, and kindness prove to be invaluable in many areas, including their own personal growth. Yet mediators can be tripped up in areas where idealism and altruism are more of a liability than an asset. When it comes to finding or keeping a partner, making friends, pursuing a meaningful career, or planning the future, people with this personality type may need to consciously develop their weaker traits and gain new skills, even as they draw on their many strengths. The Secret Life of Mediators. What you have read so far is just an introduction to the complexity of a mediator personality type. You have been may have muttered to yourself, wow, this is so accurate, it's a little creepy. No, I haven't. Finally, someone understands it. Nope. You may have even asked, how do they know more about me than the people I'm closest to? Nope. This is not a trick. You feel understood because you were. We've studied how mediators think and what they need to reach their full potential. In the process, we've learned how people with your personality type can overcome even their greatest personal challenges. But to overcome these challenges, you need to have a plan, a personal roadmap, a vision for where you want to head and why. In this introduction, you have learned how mediators tend to behave in certain circumstances and what their key strengths and weaknesses are. Here's the truth. Knowing and accepting yourself is the first step to moving forward and making positive changes in your life. Moving forward. Now that you've learned the basics, the next step of your self-discovery is your premium profile, filled with mediator-specific guidance and advice for every area of your life, from your career to your relationships. Your premium profile, probably costs money, will empower you to understand what it really means to be a mediator, what it really means to be you. If you're ready to create your own path through life, move on to the next section. Oh, okay. It doesn't cost money? Interesting. I kind of thought it would. Oh, it does. Haha. At the bottom. You know it. Alright. Well, yeah. So, I am... Your profile's been created. Okay, cool. My profile's been created. Wait, I wanted to see... Okay, I'm the mediator. I forgot what the numbers were, but that's the type of personality I have. Is it gonna make me do this? I am... How old am I? 24. I have to think about it. My role is a diplomat? What the fuck? So I'm an INFP-T. A turbulent mediator. That's what I am, guys. So thank you guys so much for joining me tonight for tonight's stream. I will be back tomorrow with another stream. And then this weekend is my off weekend. I was supposed to be going out to see my boyfriend, but I don't know if I actually can roll for right now because I got so much stuff to do this weekend before my washer and dryer comes in on Tuesday. Super excited. So if I don't get to go out and see my boyfriend this weekend, I may or may not stream. But I'm going to be super busy, so we'll see. Until then, you guys have a wonderful rest of your night, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye!